All right, let's get down to business, shall we?
Expanding the horizon. Open your ears. Turn on.
From the vacation capital of the world, it's the Nick Cariotti Show. And now, here's Nick.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Nick Cariotti Show. We are broadcasting live from Century 21 Cariotti Studios right here in sunny Central Florida. We can be heard on 810 CBS Sports and Entertainment, 93.1 FM and 94.1 FM. So we got that whole board covered across Central Florida. You can listen from anywhere. You can also download our free app, 810 CBS Sports, where we stream worldwide. If you'd like to learn more about the show, visit us at nickcariotti.com. There you can see some archive shows and a lot of good information there. Please feel free to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest at Nick Cariotti. If you'd like to join the conversation today, give us a call at 407-774-0810. We'd love to hear from you. It is Sunday, February 15th, and it is the day after Valentine's Day. And once again, I'm here live in the studio with author, blogger, motivational speaker, and life coach Jackie Victoria for part 2 of our discussion. Welcome back to the show, Jackie.
Good morning. Thank you again for having me.
All right. Very good. Glad to have you here. And of course, as things will have it, the one and only thing that can go really drastically wrong in radio is losing your voice.
Absolutely.
Which is what you did. So we're going to turn you up a little bit.
I'm hoping it just makes me sound a little sexier.
Yeah, there you go. That little raspy kind of Nina Blackwood thing. I like it.
But not like a smoker.
Yeah.
Just sexy.
No, sexy. we're talking Jackie on General Hospital from way back when. That's Demi Moore. Were you watching back then?
No.
That's okay. That's when Laura and Luke and the whole thing.
I was probably playing with Barbies.
There you go. That was like the first time. Okay, that was the first time we saw her, Demi Moore, and she had that raspy voice, and it was very sexy.
Yeah, she's just an all-around classy girl. And then in Ghost was even better.
Oh, forget it. In Ghost, are you kidding me? All I can think of is that scene. Yeah, I can just picture that scene right now. I mean, not that we're going to get too into that so fast on a Sunday morning.
But that was love right
Yeah,
there.
Was that love or what? It was a little clay. It was a little love. It was a little everything that day.
Yeah, when you really feel that you've met somebody who's absolutely irreplaceable, that movie really said it all.
Absolutely. All right, so I am so glad you're back with us today, and we had a lot of fun talking about many things last week, and obviously did not have nearly enough time to finish it. So we're going to try to do that today, and discuss some more things.
Absolutely.
And today we also have a special guest here, one of our last week's listeners, Catherine. How are you, Catherine?
Hi, how are you? Good.
Oh,
thank
just
you.
one. Oh, wow! Listen to the two sexy voices. I may have to have you guys both on every week. This could be really good for my ratings.
We'll be your showgirls.
Absolutely, my showgirls. As I mentioned earlier, my sister wives, virtual sister wives. Not to worry, honey. I don't have to worry that my wife is listening. She's not. I know that. She listened for the first 4 months of the run, and then it was like, oh yes, Nick, I think I've heard enough.
So now you have full license to have as much fun as you
go
want
ahead,
on the show.
and hopefully no one will get back to her and tell her everything we talked about. But you never know.
I'm going to hunt her down. I'm going to tell her about sister wives and how you have plans.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
You should bring your wife on the show.
I would
I'm going to
love.
let her give the other side of your story.
I would love to. Oh boy, she would.
We might have to have an 8-hour show.
That's right. I used to talk about how she told me in the beginning when I told her, I said, look, we were already very close. I already proposed to her. We were planning on getting married. I said, but I'm going to be moving to Orlando because we were living in South Florida. She was living on Los Olas Boulevard in a beautiful part of the beach and stuff. And, to leave that, was not very good. And I said, I'm moving to Orlando. And she said, I'd move to Alaska for you, she said.
She was really in love.
Right, exactly. But to this day, she denies it. And she says she never said that. She never thought that. And she would never go to Alaska.
See, that's what happens when those serotonins and dopamines and all those chemicals in the brain are in love.
Yeah, and almost 15 years of marriage, too.
Yeah,
yes.
they just go off. And then 15 years later, you're like, what are you talking about?
Absolutely.
It's almost like a drug. Like you wake up with a hangover. You're like, absolutely not. I did not say that.
Exactly.
Why do you think men spend so much time trying to get women to have drinks with them?
Oh, of course.
Nobody says, let's go for tea. tea?
Of
Would you like some
course.
tea and crumpets?
Okay, there's because you're not there's no way to wind up
No.
in bed on tea and crumpets. This is not going to happen.
Exactly. You're ridiculous.
Liquid,
I love it.
liquid courage is what it is, right?
Liquid
yeah, and I like
courage.
my wife because she has a selective memory. She remembers only the things that really work in her favor really well.
Or maybe you're the one who remembers things wrong.
remember
She remembers everything.
Hey, if I can remember Sonia Whitaker and Beverly Watson and her old boyfriend Roberto Garcia, I can remember everything.
And for
right?
all those people listening, those are his girlfriends from kindergarten
Sure, yes.
up through, I think, age 14 is where we got to before the show.
That's right. That's right. If I can remember all that, I'm the
it's-
one with a good memory.
It's easy to remember heartbreak.
That's right.
They were all breaking your heart.
True. Exactly right. Yeah.
How many girls' hearts have you broken?
Oh,
Nick,
me broken?
Yeah.
Maybe one.
that you know of?
Yeah, and even that I felt so bad I probably went back, and to make things better.
The
Yeah.
pity relationship?
Oh, sure.
You went back for the pity?
Sure, a little
That's
bit.
like women who have pity sex. Like they feel
Yeah,
so
sure.
bad for a guy and
Well,
he's
that's-
trying so hard. They're like, well, I got nothing else to do tonight.
Yeah, and that could be another show, but that's some of the best sex is pity sex. What are you kidding me? Sometimes
I thought
that's,
it was angry sex.
sometimes that's the only sex. Yes, angry sex
Oh
is
my
good
God.
too.
We
Sure.
need to, it's Sunday morning. We should probably curb this.
Okay. Now, last week we talked a little bit about your blog, talked about your upcoming book, which I'm excited for as well, and much more. But our topic today is bold, correct? Now, let me make sure I understand what we talked about here and what was mentioned to me. Are we talking about being bold enough to take control of your life, that type of thing, or do I have it wrong?
I
have it wrong.
Even if you did have it wrong, I'm going to make it right.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, owning your life has to deal with standing up for who you are and knowing what you want. And one of those, classic things people like to say is, know what you want and go after it. Well, what happens when you don't know what you want?
Right.
Well, that's part of the growing phases. Just as children grow up, we say, what do you want to be? We don't expect whatever choice you made in kindergarten to be what you end up doing.
Right.
I mean, we all wanted to be astronauts. We
Do-
all wanted to be
doctors,
basketball players.
firemen, exactly,
Absolutely.
yeah.
My son right now wants to be a police officer or in the military.
Well, talk about that.
He's 10. Oh, I've been trying to talk him out since day one.
From
And then
our
I was like,
mothers.
if that doesn't work, I'm going to try and talk him into it so
Yeah.
that he'll be like, no, my mom thinks
Right,
it's cool.
right.
So I don't want to do it.
Exactly.
But, from a mother's perspective, and I always
course.
share that with him, from a mother's perspective, I don't want you to do certain things. But, I mean, it would, and I always tell him, it would be very admirable if you were a police officer. It would be very admirable
course.
and brave
And it would be.
courage
It would just keep you up at night
to
24 hours
be
a day.
a military man. But my point is, we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
And, maybe at one point in time, we have an experience that creates a new longing or a new sense of need or something that we do want
Sure.
for ourselves, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you don't own your life, you second guess it. And a lot of things that we don't acknowledge about ourselves is that we deserve to get what we want. But we spend a lot of time saying that we don't deserve to get something. So when I say be bold, absolutely. Be bold to make changes that need to be changed.
Yes, absolutely.
And be bold enough to own who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, now, yesterday was Valentine's Day. Did everyone survive it? Everything go smooth, or any regrets from yesterday?
I had backup plans to the backup plans, and
Yeah.
I think I was still in bed by 11.
Yes.
Alone.
Well,
I was
yeah.
very tired.
Hey, there's nothing
I
wrong with
worked
that.
all weekend. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes Valentine's Day is just about the love you give out. I sent
Yeah.
my text. I had overwhelming responses. Hey, how are you? And it was a great way to remember to keep in touch with people.
Yeah.
And then you go from there.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
It's not that it lost meaning. Actually, it was a great day.
It was a great day. The weather was beautiful. I planned
was
on going out with
perfect.
my wife yesterday. I had a beautiful dinner planned. Had a lot of great things going on. We're going to go to the park, Epcot for the day and stuff. And, we started doing a few things around the house and just kind of like being together and having fun. And she looked at me and said, do you feel like going out? And I thought, not really. Not really. I mean, I'm enjoying this. I'm just enjoying being together and stuff and just doing our thing in the house. So we kind of did. I mean, she started having regrets towards the end of the day. Like, maybe I feel bad. Maybe we should have went out. The day was beautiful. You wanted to go. I said, no, I'm totally good. So we spent the whole day home, really. And it was great. It was a great day.
I mean, sometimes you do have to force yourself to get out because
Yes.
you will get into those ruts where you're
Sure.
like, oh, no, I just want to stay home. But sometimes it is really good to force yourself to go out. But I'm going to tell you something. Here's what you missed last night by not going out.
All right.
The traffic.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
stuck in traffic
Oh,
for
yeah.
an hour
Yes.
on the world's busiest street here in
Yes.
Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
Just trying to get home from
Of
my
course.
office.
Craziness.
And I thought, come on.
Yeah, that is crazy. It's
Yeah.
the traffic is pretty bad,
Oh, everybody
And-
wants to go to dinner and do this, and that's
Of course.
great, but you have
Yeah.
to plan for that.
Yeah, you do,
Forget.
and have an alternative route as well.
Yeah, an airplane, a helicopter, a
There you
personal
go.
landing pad.
Exactly,
I'm in.
exactly. And getting ready to go out sometimes. I got to blow my hair and stuff. I get those like 2 or 3 strands, and I got to get them just right
Yeah.
and just Kind of.
Yes.
All right. Well,
The shine from your head right now, Nick, is actually blinding me.
I am proud of that.
And I have to wear sunglasses in the studio.
Someday my wife is going to let me shave it all off, and I'll be a very happy man. I got no
No.
problem with that. Yeah.
No.
She says, no, you do not have the right shape head for that, she says. You don't have one of those perfect heads. Well, we'll see. One day we will see.
As long as she doesn't call you Eggman. we're
There you
okay.
go. There you go. I'll prove her wrong one day.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Jackie, now you're going to talk a little bit with Catherine today and help her through some different relationship things. And right, I call them things. Right, we don't call them.
Well, they're not problems. I'm just
Right.
going to call them issues.
Yeah,
Or things. I think is a great way to put it because
Wonderful.
when we call things problems,
Yes.
they become problems.
Yes.
Everything in our life is not a problem. It's
Exactly.
something we have not yet worked through. It's kind of like a mathematical equation.
Yeah.
2 times 2 is.
Yeah.
Well, let's work that out.
We need a solution.
And that's the beauty of relationships and of personal development.
Yes.
Is that there's not one finite answer.
Yeah.
So your answer doesn't have to be what the person sitting next to you is
Exactly.
to get the correct grade. As
Sure.
long as your score is based on your happiness level and fulfillment level.
Yes.
But absolutely, Catherine did write to me and share with me a little bit about her personal experiences. And
Yeah.
I definitely am so excited to have you on the show. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Absolutely.
And by the way, how was your Valentine's Day?
Well, it was really good. I actually went out with the family. That's all I needed, honestly.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
it was
Wonderful.
Really
Very nice. Okay.
And the first thing I kind of wanted to cover before we really get started here with you, Catherine, is just something kind of we talked about is in our previous conversations. What is love? I mean, it's Valentine's Day. Love is in the air. The mood is there. What is love? And when we talk about romantic relationships, love has so many different definitions. And part of that, we all seek affection and validation. And to take those two components out, and it's almost kind of boring to make it scientific, but at the same time, if we don't recognize the things that drive us, such as the desire for affection, the longing for validation, then we're missing a huge part of how we find a perfect partner or how we find a healthy relationship. So one of the things that we had talked about was you were previously in a relationship with somebody who, it just had so many struggles going on. So maybe you could tell us just a little bit about your, that experience, where it started, how it started.
I mean, we met each other at his house. It's weird, but he's a producer, and we met each other at his house. We were working on music with some friends or whatever. He really did not interest me at that moment. We started talking later on, like a year later. He didn't like me. I liked him. It was crazy. But at the end of the day, what happened was that we started going out. We dated for a while. I started discovering things that I didn't know before the moment that we started dating. Like, he was really Christian. Things that I don't mind. I mean, I'm not saying that I mind. Definitely, I don't mind. And he was a virgin, too. And he didn't like me going out without him or out clubbing. He had a lot of problems, like trying to trust me. I don't know, since the beginning. I tried to force it. I tried to force everything, honestly.
Okay.
And when I gave up on everything, and I said, look, I'm forcing the relationship to happen. Like, you're not doing anything to make this happen. I don't know what happened. He started forcing it into me. Like, it was,
Right.
yeah.
Because people want things they can't have. So the
Yeah.
minute he realized he couldn't have you, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
I think
Jackie?
that's what happened.
Well, it
I
is
don't
what
know.
happens. But let's go back for just a minute. I mean, now, so there was a relationship here. There was something that you wanted that you couldn't have, and that's how it started. He wasn't really interested in you.
Yeah.
And sometimes when love comes too easy, it's, oh, never mind. You meet somebody and you're really excited. You're like, oh, la, la, la. And then it's kind of, oh, there's something wrong with this person. They like me a little too much, or they're being too friendly, or, oh, this is too easy.
Right, too easy.
And
Maybe
it's
I
funny.
deserve more, maybe.
Absolutely, or they don't value themselves. I mean, there's a million different reasons
You
why
just
when
look
it's
for a reason. Yeah.
when it's too easy, we kind of walk away. But beside that point, basically, what were the commonalities? What were you really looking for? And what happened was, when you met him, and when he finally did decide to move forward and date you because you pursued him, which there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of men do prefer to be pursued. However, It's personal preference. But you pursued him, and he did say yes, and he did let you into his life. The issues become, where was the commonality to begin with? And that commonality was born of him being a producer. You were working on music together and this and that. The bonds that we do create are usually based on long-term goals, dreaming, moving in the same direction together. What happens is he got excited about you because you were showing him attention, affection, and you liked what he was doing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you were totally into him.
I was.
Absolutely. What was that first thing that drew you to him?
Well, it was not physically. It was nothing physical, honestly. I don't know. I guess it's because we used to talk a lot. We weren't that close, but we started talking a lot in the phone during a daily basis. Every night we used to talk about everything that we went through or whatever, and we had a lot of things in common, even though we didn't know that until later on.
Right, because that conversation.
Yeah, it was a conversation and like the personalities.
Right, you were getting to know one another. You were validating one another through these conversations that you had. Obviously, they were great conversations based on mutual understanding, on acceptance. Yeah. And what happens is, once we get into a relationship, a lot of people tend to want to change the other person. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now that we've gotten our attention, now that we've gotten our affection, we had validation, but suddenly that validation starts moving backwards because we're trying to fix somebody, change them, or ask them to understand us. And I'm going to bring up a very important part of our conversation from last week, which was that he was extremely spiritual and religious. Now, many people have many beliefs, and that is okay because that's who they are. I firmly believe we should all have a true connection with a higher power, whoever that may be to you, with a loving creator, and that gives us our personal fulfillment. And I believe people should have that first and foremost before they try and engage in relationships with other people, because that's part of owning your life, of owning and knowing who you are. Yeah. How do you know who you are if you don't know where you came from or what you believe in? But that aside, that was something that he was very into, and on his faith level of being a Christian. And I say this in an objective way. That's simply who he was. And something that you did for him was to go to church. However, you did it not because you were a Christian, which you are, but not because you're a Christian, but because you wanted to be with him.
Yeah.
Do you think that was the right reason to go? And why not?
Because you're supposed to go and find the love that you're looking for. And when you go to church, because you want to do it, not because somebody else told you to do it, or because that's gonna bring you some type of
fulfillment.
Yeah, no. I did it for the wrong reason. I did enjoy it, though. At the beginning, everything was going great. I thought I was doing it because of myself. I thought that I wanted to do it. But that was just in the moment. I realized later on that wasn't what I wanted.
Right, because he wanted you to continue going to all of these things with him, and you just started feeling uncomfortable, and that you didn't want to go, and that was becoming your life, and you started to see that his whole life revolved around his faith.
Yes.
And that faith wasn't part of your set of beliefs.
Yeah.
Jackie, if I can just ask 1 second. So I understand that this was his life, that right? And we shouldn't have to ask him to change that either. But would you say that it would probably have been a better situation if there was more compatibility there with that, where she believed what he believed and wanted to do it? Or, I mean, could that have ever worked in that scenario where she was forcing it to make him happy, he wasn't letting it up because that was his life and that was the way it was going to be? Could that go on?
That makes for a very unhealthy relationship, because what happens is resentment starts to build, as it already did.
Yes.
And something that, Catherine experienced was that when she turned around and asked him to do the same things, such as going to clubs and enjoying her life and being young. Catherine is very youthful. She's in her early 20s. That he was not willing to do that.
Right.
Now, he was not willing to do those things because that was not a set belief that he had. It did not fit in with his lifestyle. So this goes back to, where is the true validation and acceptance, and how is that relationship going to work? Yeah. And I'm going to give you a very interesting example. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's like inviting, like this relationship here is kind of like, and this is not at all in reference to the two beings that we're talking about, but You get a priest and a stripper together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the priest wants to convert the stripper, and the stripper's saying, "Hey, go have fun."
Yes.
How does that work?
Yeah.
You know, the
I know how it's going to end. I don't know how it's going to
gonna
work,
end-
but I know how
it's gonna end badly for everybody.
Badly, yes.
You know, you just can't have those things. And but we're so afraid of losing whatever's in front of us.
Yes.
We settle. You know, so at the end of the day, if that's not two people's lifestyle to begin with,
Right.
how are you going to make that work? Now, there's a difference between being accepting, open, experiencing things. And sometimes it's okay to date people.
Right.
That's what the dating process is for.
Sure.
You date them. You don't walk in on day one and say, "Will you be mine?" and have these intentions of getting married. And this is the number one mistake women make. They go in with a thought. They're thinking big white dress, wedding,
Yeah.
babies, marriage, and the whole thing.
Yes.
I'm gonna stop you right
Yeah.
there because I'm gonna tell you something that you don't know, Jackie.
Oh my goodness.
He was the one that wanted to marry me, that wanted to have babies as soon as we started dating,
Oh my
Jackie.
gosh.
And that's something, and I respect that because of his belief or whatever. But that is something that you don't say when you just
No.
met somebody. You
I've
know what
had
I mean?
so many men sit down and the first thing out of their mouth, "So, do you want to get married again?"
And have kids.
Like, what?
I was like, this is not the first interview question. The first question on the test is not, "Will you marry me?"
Oh my God, no.
It's let's learn more about each other.
Oh, yeah.
But and that's exactly, so it goes for men and women. You know, I'm going to say something. Men and women are equally retarded. Okay, we are equally slow to learn the sequence in the process, and absolutely, there's women. You're very young. Of course, you want to go out and experience your life. But let's get back to the main issue, which is the compatibility, the common bonds. What started as great conversation ended as great conversation. But you still do have a relationship with him, and you still might miss him. But it's that fear of loss because you want affection and validation. I mean, is that true? Do you want to be apart from somebody when you know that love is readily available and freely flowing to you?
I mean, I don't know what to answer, honestly, because the thing is that we still trying to work it out after everything that's happened during this year. It's been almost 2 years. And we'll still try to force it. It's like we can't let go of each other. I don't know what.
You can't let go of each other. Why?
I don't know. I honestly think that I love him until a certain level, but I understand too that I'm trying to get into an unhealthy relationship, and I don't know how that.
Is it healthy? Is it a healthy relationship to be someone other than who you truly are?
I mean, I am who I am now, and he understands that, and he didn't get away from the church or from God because he still believes in what he believes, just like I do. But he was able to. Well, he still hasn't done it yet. Now that I think about it, but he was able to tell me, listen, okay, I'm not telling you that we're gonna do it every weekend, but once in a while, if you want to go out, we could go, and I will go with you. It's not like it doesn't have to be like before that you went out by yourself, and this is why I got mad and stressed about. Because you decided to go out by yourself, even though that it bothers me. I'm not telling you can't go, but you can still go, but it bothers me. He makes me like.
Right. And here's the thing. In relationships, this is going to be a big shock to everybody. You do not have to ask the other person for permission to live your life and to enjoy it. Period. You don't. There's an autonomy there.
Okay.
And that's a common mistake. Yes, there's respect and values.
Yeah, you
but
do it for respect. You just don't do it for respect.
But this is why people get into the relationships and they don't know where the end is because they're so busy trying to make it work because of the fear of loss, the fear to be alone, the fear to start over. There was this building going on, but let's just say a hurricane came and knocked it down. It doesn't fit, and the resentment is going to grow over time. You don't go out with me. You said you would. You don't go out with me. You don't appreciate it. And then when the judgment settles in, now these are just common things that happen in every relationship. Now the judgment's going to settle in.
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to get further in his faith, and you're keeping him from it. Is that fair? I'm not saying that's what's happening.
Yeah, I
Okay,
understand.
but that's not fair to him either. So if he decided to go one direction with his faith and he doesn't no longer believes in drinking or in those things, what happens if you have children?
Yeah.
How are you going to raise your kids? And these is a very heavy conversation.
We talked about it, yeah.
But and what you talk about and what actually happens can be two different things.
Yeah.
And so this utopian dream, and that is why it's important to go back to what is love. Love are those things that encourage you, inspire you, and make you want to be a better version of yourself, not things that make you question and not understand things about yourself.
On that note, we are going to have to take a quick little break, but we're going to be right back. I'm loving this conversation. I think our audience probably is as well. So if you'd like to go ahead and tune into our show and give us a call as well and talk to Jackie or talk to any of us, you can. 407-774-0810. We'll be right back.
Do you want to ask Nick a question? Then call 407-774-0810. What does Nick know that others don't? We'll let you know as soon as we find out. The Nick Cariotti Show. Right here on 810 CBS Sports and Entertainment and 93.1 FM.
Why call a Century 21 agent? Because they're filled to the brim with caring and patience and plain English translations. They educate, they hold hands, and not for real like during a couple song at a roller rink, but metaphorically like how they break it all down for you. What's it mean when there's a mortgage lien? I don't know, but they sure do, and they're happy to explain. They're made of insight and speed and sunflower seeds. That's right, sunflower seeds. Because they're all about bringing a big blossoming bundle of happiness into your day. This is who they are. This is what they do. Century 21 agents. Smarter, bolder, faster.
Call Century 21 Cariotti today at 407-770-0322. That's 407-770-0322.
CARE Feline TNR is a non-profit charitable organization. Their mission is improving the lives of feral and abandoned cats through TNR, Trap, Neuter, Return, in Central Florida. Feral community cats are domesticated cats that have become unsocialized to humans, either due to having been abandoned for an extended period of time or having been born to a feral mother cat. CARE Feline TNR seeks to improve their lives by providing support to colony caretakers. The caretakers manage colonies by providing food, shelter, and medical attention. They work in partnership with Orange County Animal Services, the Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, SPCA of Florida, Lakeland, and private veterinarians to offer the TNR package of services. CARE Feline TNR are always looking for volunteers to help. If you'd like to donate to the organization, please go to www.carefelinetnr.org. www.carefelinetnr.org.
Are you looking for a new career? Something that will give you the financial independence that you need and deserve, but also give you the freedom and flexibility to set your own schedule? Then being a licensed real estate professional might be just what you're looking for. Your timing couldn't be better. Due to our housing crisis, we have an enormous amount of homes on the market in the form of foreclosures and bank-owned properties. This has created a strong buyer's market and a huge opportunity for real estate agents to succeed. I will personally instruct you through our state-approved real estate course and get you licensed and up and running as quickly as possible. If this career sounds right for you, then visit the Florida Real Estate Learning Center at frelc.com. That's frelc.com. Don't miss out on this great career opportunity.
Nick Cariotti is a 20-year veteran Florida real estate broker, instructor, author, and president of Florida Real Estate Learning Center. Feel free to give him a call with any real estate questions you may have.
All right, we are back once again, and you are listening to the Nick Cariotti Show here on 810 CBS Sports and Entertainment, 93.1 FM and 94.1 FM as well. We are broadcasting live from the Century 21 Cariotti Studios, and we are here today once again with Jackie Victoria and her brand and company.
Invincible Victoria.
Last time I said Jackie Victoria, I know that. Or I said Invincible Jackie is what I said, right?
Yeah,
Invincible
you know
Victoria.
I'm invincible no matter what you call me.
That's exactly right. And you're here with your guest today also, Catherine, and you've been discussing some really interesting things, but also things I think that a lot of people can relate to, would you say?
Absolutely. I mean, this is all in general terms because the things that are happening to us, we believe only happen to us, and they don't. They're common threads in every relationship. I mean, the divorce rate is over 50% at this point. And that rush to love is really it's causing a mess. It's
Yes.
causing children to grow up in fatherless and motherless homes. It's causing a lot of repercussions that we fail to recognize. But we want to talk about those, quote unquote problems, and we'll call it societal issues. But the real issue is that it's the failure to love yourself first.
Yes.
It's the failure to understand who you are, to explore your world, to know what you truly want, because we're so busy trying to find someone to save us,
Right.
someone to validate us, someone to, be there by our side, which is great in a long term. But if you don't love yourself first, you can't. So my whole purpose of Invincible Victoria is to teach people to save themselves. Be your own superhero.
Yes.
Because you got this. Once you own your life,
Yes.
the rest falls into place.
Wonderful.
And, going back to you, Catherine, seeking validation instead of a love that fits comes to mind for me. Often we settle when we find attention or affection. It's a case of what's in front of us versus what is right for us. In your particular circumstance, you had met someone who perhaps didn't meet your needs, but they were present and they were willing. So you gave it a shot and now you're attached to it. But is it truly right for you? That's a question I want you to take away. I don't want you to answer that on air. I don't want anyone to have to answer that in front of somebody. But I think it's important to take a moment to reflect on your circumstance, on your personal relationships that you're in, and is it right for you? No matter what relationship that is, whether it's at work, with your coworkers, with your bosses, are you unhappy? Are you trying so desperately hard to make something work that isn't working? But you had mentioned something that I think plays a part into how and why you're in this relationship with someone who maybe doesn't have your same set of common goals. Tell me a little bit about what had happened right before your move from Miami. Why did you move from Miami up here to Orlando?
I moved here to Orlando because I wanted to start a career in music business, in the music industry. And my mom didn't want me to move and leave her. I understand that, like, coming from a mom, I always been with her. I moved from Spain to Miami by myself, and she came looking for me, and she stayed here, and she brought everything with her.
Mommies love their babies.
Yeah. And it's like she didn't want to let me go, too. Like,
Who can blame her? You're beautiful, you're fun, you're vibrant, and you've got it together. Who would want to let you go?
Thank you, Jackie. But, yes, I moved by myself, and yeah, I started my own life. And I'm seeking my career. I'm trying to, like, put everything together. It's hard to do it when I left because she didn't want me.
So she moves to Miami. Let me just get this straight and to clear it up for our listeners. So she moved from Miami. She moved from Spain to Miami to be with you.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you're in Miami. And you want to move to Orlando to go to college.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, you were already in a relationship with this man
Yes.
while you were down there in Miami.
Yes.
And now you're leaving both of them.
Yeah.
So they're experiencing some abandonment issues. Okay. Which is okay. And she, your mom obviously probably has to work and sustain a life. It's not like she has that freedom that you might to just pick up and go. So now you're moving here to Orlando to go to college. And what was really the fallout there with your mother?
Well, it comes from way back, honestly. She used to be a model, and she went through things that she doesn't want me to go through to get where I want.
Such as? Let's be bold.
For example, okay, fine. When she used to model, she saw all this men looking at her and all these things. She realized later on when she left it that everything that she did, it was for other people to look at her like in a morbid way, and like she didn't feel that it was something admirable to do, after everything that she went through, everything was like cheating, people was like how do you say that, beating,
Abuse.
Abusive?
No, sorry.
That's okay.
Competitiveness.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was ruthless.
It
was a ruthless
really,
industry.
Yeah, she really liked it and enjoyed it when she was doing it. But later on, when she stopped doing it because she had me, she realized that wasn't what she wanted.
Right.
She doesn't want me to go through the same rough things that she went through to get where she wanted to go and what she wanted to do. And that's when all the spotlight is on you, and you have to do certain things to get where you want to go, or like you need to eat with certain people because this is the people that's gonna get you there or whatever. She doesn't want me to be like her, basically.
And I am on a personal mission to prove that you don't have to do that and be with certain people.
Exactly.
You can network and
honestly,
you can do it in an honest way.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to prove to her wrong right now. I'm doing it. Right now, I'm doing it. I think I'm getting where I want to go, and when in the right way to do it.
So let's talk about that. You moved out. You got your own place, right?
Yes.
And then you just finished real estate school.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
When did you graduate?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So far, have you gone into the modeling world?
No.
Have you slept your way to the top? Are you
No.
a superstar and I don't know about it? We need to
no.
go shopping on some sugar daddy's dime?
Well,
because if that's the case, I'm in. I'm
it's not
willing.
It's not that. It's not the same position, but I want to be a singer, and it has to relate a lot with the spotlight and all. Everything that she said.
Okay.
Is more or less the same situation that she's thinking that's gonna happen, because a lot of artists and a lot of people out there are going through the same thing and went through the same thing to get to where they are. But it's not that I'm trying to prove her wrong, because she's right. There's a lot of people that's done it.
You should be trying to prove her wrong.
But it's not necessarily that's what I'm trying to prove. That it's not necessarily my position.
But it's not to prove her wrong. It's to prove that you can do it.
Yeah, I could do it.
Everything
Exactly.
is for you to prove and own your life. Right, absolutely.
Under your terms, right?
Yeah, under my terms. Not whatever happened to her, I understand that. And I will take that until, I will obviously try to guide myself, and be like, okay, she did this to get here. That's not necessarily what I
So
have to
basically,
do.
parents, I think, are so afraid that we're going to follow in their footsteps. They actually almost push us in a direction to follow their footsteps.
Honestly,
Because I'm going to bring up a story of one of my very, very close friends. She had a drug abuse problem way back when. We're talking decades ago. And more recently, she just went through a terrible divorce, separation, very abusive relationship. She ended up with an abusive man. I mean, that tends to happen with substance abuse and when there's not a proper upbringing and those things. It's just reality. Now, she's trying to walk away from a relationship, and everyone's trying to say, are you using again? Are you using again? And her mom's at her. Are you using again? Are you using? Oh, there's something wrong with you. I mean, she has prescriptions. She's on antidepressants, but there's a reason for that. She saw a trained medical physician for that. It is 20 years later, and this woman is still on her case going, are you using? Are you? And so at this point, I'm like, it's no wonder if you aren't using. I said, I wouldn't blame you if you were, because everybody expects it from you. Nobody's holding you to a higher standard. It's almost constant conversation being forced in your face. At some point, you just want to say, okay, you want to be right? Then you go be right. And I'm done. Because I'm done trying to please everybody. And that brings us back to, why do we attempt to make others happy before ourselves? I'm very proud of you because you are attempting to make yourself happy. And in the process, you left someone in a relationship status and tried to make it work on a long distance level. But you also had to explore your world on your own and go away. Yeah. She's still your mom. You still respect her. You still keep in touch with her.
Of course.
In the end, when you haven't slept your way to the top and you do have a hit single, she's going to be really, really proud of you.
I hope so, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, but do you think you made the right decision?
I honestly don't think that I made the right decision. I'm going through a lot of things right now, economically and all this, but I think I made the right decision by picking the right thing to do. I read on a blog the other day, a girl was going through the same thing that I was going through, the same situation, but the difference was that she said, oh, I didn't have money to live by myself. And I have a dog, so I had to figure out how to make these all things work. And she started going to a nightclub, and she's a stripper. And I'm not saying this is wrong or anything, but I think I made a different decision, and I see myself doing different things. And in a long term, okay, this is what you choose to be now, but do you really think this is gonna get you to the next year or to the other year around? And what's your future?
What's your plan?
Yeah, what's your plan?
And it's that need for instant gratification. You need money, you need it quick. How can I do it?
Yeah, exactly.
And typically, the easiest way to get somewhere the fastest is to do the wrong things.
Yeah.
I mean, having a real estate license, building a business, doing music on the side. I mean, it's a beautiful way to make a real solid life for yourself. And there's nothing wrong with the choices that we make. I mean, obviously strippers exist because somebody's paying, and there's another side of that, which is men go and support it. So people who talk bad about strippers, I've got news for you. Nick.
Yes, let me see if I understand the stripper. That's like one of those girls who takes their clothes off?
You know what? I used to have a joke. I worked in a clothing shop for a little while, and a friend of mine, I was you would have to what's called strip the clothes.
Yeah.
I'm stripping right now.
Right.
And you'd have to strip the clothes off from the package as they come in and put them on the hangers and this and that.
Yeah.
So we used to have this thing. It's like, well, if you're going to be a stripper, be the best stripper you can be.
There you go.
And that needs to be on a T-shirt somewhere. But there's some really good songs out right now. I believe it's by Usher about he met her in a club, and how can he dog on it when he met her in a club, and she's like his everything, and he's so in love with her, and he's like, do your thing, hustle baby hustle kind of thing. But that's that personal choice that somebody makes. But I tell you what, anyone who dogs on strippers, I have to say, there's people going to support it. If there wasn't a need, there wouldn't be a job opportunity.
Yes.
So. But going back to you, now that we got totally, you want to go to a strip club now? Let's go strip some clothes.
No, those days are so over.
No, I meant strip some clothes in storage.
Yeah, my wife won't let me go to Vegas before I go to a strip club.
I'm
That's
going
not
to
gonna
Vegas
happen.
for my birthday. I'm
Are
so
you?
excited.
Good for you. Good for you.
I'm so excited. And you know what? I looked up every single show in Vegas, and I thought for sure, I was like, I want to come out of my shell, and I just want to see some strippers. I want to see some showgirls. I want to see TNA.
Yeah.
I want to just live life
and
figure out what the hell I've been missing for the past 15 years.
Yes.
And raising 2 babies and everything else. And I get online, I looked up every single show, and the only one I'm going to is a pinup show. But it's so classy. I mean, it's just classy.
Yeah.
That
burlesque kind of
no,
thing.
it's not even burlesque.
Oh, okay.
It's pinup. It is the sexy, sultry 1950s, 60s subtlety where it leaves something to the imagination.
Sure.
And I think it's just so hot.
Nice.
And I'm going to see Britney Spears. I confess.
Very nice.
But let me tell you, I really only set that up to torture the man that's taking me, because we dated in college for 4 years.
Okay, yes.
And he used to tell me everything I liked. All my glitter and pink was waist, and you're so girly. And now I'm like, he goes, anything you want to do in Vegas? And I was like, I want to go see Britney Spears.
Yeah.
And he booked the tickets.
That's
I was kind of joking, and now I'm excited. But I'm like,
nice.
I just want to watch his face in the torment for all the torture and heartbreak he put me through.
Hey, he may love it. Surprise you.
Payback's a bitch. No. But let's get back to you, Catherine. Okay? Let me tell you this. The first relationship we have and why we attempt to make others happy before ourselves usually comes from our parents. I mean, isn't it true that when you're growing up, you get yelled at?
Yeah.
Now, what's your heritage? Are you Spanish? Are you Latin? Are you?
Yeah, Hispanic. I'm Hispanic. My mom is Venezuelan. I was raised in Spain.
Okay.
Ooh, talking about the devil.
Oh, she's calling you right now. She's like, I heard that.
That's right. I was listening, Catherine.
Her mom is calling her right now. She's saying, don't tell my stories.
Oh,
don't tell
God.
about that time. No, but
yeah.
when you disappointed your mom, how did that feel?
It felt real bad because I left home without a blessing. But later on, she realized that she said, look, I'm here for you whenever you need. I know I can't help you financially, but I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to try.
Emotionally.
Yeah, emotionally.
And that means more than a lot of money.
Honestly, yes. I felt way better. I felt that I could continue and go on and do my thing. Honestly, we had trouble with the real estate thing too. Like, she didn't want me to do it. She wanted me to get a job at Sephora or like
be a makeup counter girl.
Yeah, Winn-Dixie. I don't know.
After
something.
she just told you about how
Exactly.
beauty doesn't make everything.
No. It's not that. It's just that she was like, you need money now. Like you said, money fast. You need money now. You need this. But I was thinking, okay, if I do that, the same thing with the whole situation. Like, I want to get something. I want to invest in something that's going to give me in return way more.
Say that again.
I want to invest in something that's going to give me in return something more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, why wouldn't that apply to your relationships with men? Exactly. We have the answers for ourselves. Everybody has an answer for themselves. And they might say it, and it might come out when they're talking to somebody else, which is a big reason why people have life coaches and counselors. Counselors aren't there to give you the answers. They're there to help you find what you truly think and feel. If you can do that with your ability to see your future for your finances, then hopefully you'll be able to adapt that to your relationships.
All right. On that note, we got to take one more break, but we're going to be back in just a little bit, and we're going to wrap this thing up and bring it all to that lasting point we can leave people with as well. So, once again, you're listening to the Nick Cariotti Show. I'm here with Jackie Victoria. We're here with Catherine, and we're having a great discussion. I'll be right back.
That was awesome. Okay.
All right, we are back. A little technical difficulty, but we are back, and we're going to go ahead and continue from here. We'll fix that in a little bit. All right, so once again, I'm happy you guys are here and having a great discussion, and we're going to continue kind of where we left off. We have about maybe 10, 12 minutes left, so let's go ahead and do that.
And thank you once again for having us. And again, I want to tell our listeners a big thank you to Catherine. It takes a lot of courage to write to a complete stranger and ask for help, and to come in and share your feelings and situation with strangers. So again, thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.
I want to bring this back for just a second to your mother that we were talking about. You know, you left a relationship with a gentleman who may or may not be a great fit for you in a long-term relationship. But I want to bring it back to that first relationship we have with our parents. Now let's go back to your childhood. Was there a father in the home?
No.
Where was he?
Well,
long story short.
Yeah, long story short, he left us when I was like 15 days old. So this is when we moved to Venezuela, and then we moved to Spain, and that's where I grew up and I was raised.
Okay. All right. So now when you were in trouble and your mom chastised you when you were 8, how did that feel?
How would you feel?
Exactly. How does it feel? Tell me.
But I mean, obviously, I didn't know who to talk to anymore. Like I didn't have any other side, to like help out or anything. But
Right. You and so if your mom said, "I expect you to be home by dark."
Oh no.
But let's say she did. Let's say she said, "You be home by dark," and you weren't home by dark, and you stayed out, and you got home and you got in really big trouble. And she gave you the lashing of your lifetime, or verbal, chastising and bad girl thing.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a situation where she was that mad that you never did something again?
Honestly, no. I was like really rebel when I was little, but this is the problem. When she used to get mad at something, and she used to get mad at, like, for example, what you just said. She didn't say only that. She used to get mad about everything else. Like, she will say
at the same time, right?
Yeah, she will say some things, like she'll bring things from like 4 months up. Like it's crazy. Like she will get really, really mad and like everything at the same time.
Can I tell you something about that? And this is human nature. We keep it to ourselves, thinking that we're doing others a service. But what we're really doing is we're doing others a disservice, and we're doing a disservice to ourselves, because now we're moving from a level of honesty to a level of resentment, and to a point of explosion at that point. And that tends to build up.
Yeah, all of the discussions that I had with my mom I'm serious. All of them. They've been like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So basically what I did want to tell our listeners is, our first relationships that we have with our parents are very telling and very important. The reason being is because that's where our first affection comes from. That's where our first validation comes from.
Yeah.
If we had a very affectionate environment, we tend to seek that out in the future. If we had a very non-affectionate environment, we might be so used to that, we don't know how to express ourselves, or we don't know how to give that validation to others. And it's a cycle that tends to continue. Children, for the most part, who are in healthy, happy relationship homes, tend to want to make their parents happy. They tend to want to make their parents happy. They're conditioned this way. When disapproval is given, we tend to try not to do the same things. That doesn't mean we don't, but we try not to. And then when there's repeated praise for doing something great, we tend to do it over and over and over again. It's conditioning. And that rolls over into our romantic relationships as well. We had talked a couple weeks ago about Rihanna and Chris Brown and Whitney Houston and abusive relationships and why they happen. Because there's a chastising and a slow, gradual process of punishment. And then there's a turning around and having all the praise and the good. So you're going to repeat whatever praise and good. But you stood up for yourself, and I'm really proud of you for owning your life.
Thank you.
And making your decisions on your own. And this is very telling that you're a very strong person. And that doesn't mean that you won't have problems, but it does mean that because you're able to make your own decisions without asking somebody else for permission. You did not ask that gentleman in Miami for permission to leave. And had he not given it to you, you still went. Because you made a decision for yourself. So many of us spend so much time trying to make other people happy that we forget we were designed with an inherent purpose. We were created for a reason. We have a place on this earth. And when we forget that, when we forget who we truly are, because we've given ourselves away to somebody else, then we're defeating ourselves, we're defeating our purpose. And quite honestly, I don't know what that would really say to somebody about their true faith.
Wow, Jackie, touching.
Yes, yes. You know, Catherine, I had a question for you,
Yes.
and that was beautiful and so
Yeah,
so
really
so
intense.
motivational. Very nice.
It's
Yes.
very deep in this room
Sure.
right now.
Yes, absolutely. Was there a big age factor difference between you and the gentleman you're speaking of?
Not really.
About the same
it,
age?
It looks like it, right? But
Yeah,
no.
it sounds like it could be.
No, it's just 1 year.
1 year.
difference.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he's pretty young too. So really, no one really has found themselves yet.
Right?
It's not even himself.
We're
Right.
both,
Yeah.
we're both trying to get
Yeah.
there, to
Sure.
find ourselves and
Yeah.
to find what we really are.
Yeah, and
And
just as he was given the opportunity to find to get in the right direction to do what he's doing. Obviously, he knows what he wants to do, and he's
Yes.
probably in the midst of it or starting it. He needs to give you that strength as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have news. I mean, people in their 30s, 40s, and even 50s. I've
Yeah.
met some people in the 60s, and they're still trying to find
Oh,
themselves.
that's sad.
Because we grow.
Yes.
We grow. I think as we get older, we tend to care less what others think of us.
Yeah.
But we're always evolving and growing because these new experiences.
Sure.
I mean, information is information.
Yes,
So you have to go
absolutely.
back to that. But what you're experiencing, just for your knowledge, Catherine, it happens in singledom. And it happens in long-term relationships too. So just because you're in that fine line between single and committed relationship, I just want people who are married or who are in a relationship right now long-term. I mean, this is very real issues for you as well.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. I wanted to just jump back for something for just a split second. You guys were talking about a little bit earlier about not necessarily having to give up your own life to do or force yourself to do what they like to do. But I did find that in my relationships where I truly loved the person, I wanted to do whatever it took to make them happy.
Yeah, you
kinda
kind
want
of
to.
lose yourself.
You lose yourself, yeah.
Yeah, you lose your personality just because you want to make the other person
Yeah,
happy.
yeah. And in every relationship, it seems that there is a giver and a taker. And there almost has to be, in a sense, I would think. Not really? You feel? I mean, can we both be takers? Can we both be givers?
Well, you have it right and wrong at the same time.
Okay.
I mean, yes, there's give and take. And in a true, loving, committed, long-term relationship with a person who fits your needs, there's going to be give and take. Because like you said, you want to do something with the other person.
Right.
But you shouldn't want to do it just to make them happy.
Right.
You're doing it to make yourself happy and to know that I'm not saying you're wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
we do want to please other people.
Yes.
But we're doing it because it gives us the satisfaction to, going back to what Catherine said, be with that person, to be present in their lives.
Right.
And you want to be present in their lives because you care and you love and you want to motivate. How can I encourage this person if I don't understand anything about what they're talking to me about?
Okay.
How can we have deep conversations if I never know what the heck is going on?
Okay.
And so it goes back to that.
All right. So, at this point in my life, I'm married almost 15 years. I'm actually 14 and a half years now. And it's a wonderful relationship. Everything's going really great. I can see it.
From your perspective.
From my
No,
well,
I'm just
hopefully from
kidding.
hers too. Hey, you never know.
She might not agree with your
That's
sister
right.
wife's comment earlier.
Exactly. No, she would just laugh about it because she was like, she'd be looking at me as if, that type of thing. So
She's like, only if I can have two husbands, honey.
Right. She's got a great sense of humor. No, as if they two would want you at the same time. Okay, that type of thing, which is funny and good. I take it with a grain of salt. But it really does make me happy. Like, for instance, yesterday, okay, it made me very happy to wake her up with chocolate, wake her up with a card and with a gift, something where I showed that I paid attention and I knew what she wanted, and I made her proud to think that I was listening, over the months of little hints here and there. And it made me extremely happy to do that. I didn't feel it took anything away from me whatsoever. To make her happy that day made my day happy.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
It's not bad. It's actually very, very good. But I'm going to tell you a root cause of this as well, that it seems less enchanting.
Yeah.
And it's still just as equally as enchanting that you did this for your spouse. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
But it gave you a sense of fulfillment.
Yes.
Because you did good job.
Yes.
Good job.
Oh,
Let's give
you're
him
right.
that.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the validation. It was almost like attention, reverse attention, if you
Yes.
will.
Yes.
I'm going to give you attention so you'll appreciate me. It was that sense of praise and gratitude. You know that she appreciated that.
Yeah.
You know deep down in her heart that she was saying, oh my God, this man, you know, men are known for forgetting things,
Sure.
for not being thoughtful.
And I've done that as well.
And it's so untrue. I mean, I know plenty of very thoughtful men, but they're known for these things. So when you do a good job, we're like, hey, good job.
Yeah.
But you gave yourself a personal sense of fulfillment. So in that statement that you just said, you made yourself happy.
Yeah.
Because it makes you happy to make her happy.
Yes.
It seems so profound and so simple at the same time.
Right.
It sounds like almost like what time is the 11 o'clock mass?
Yeah,
Well, it's at 11 o'clock. But you made yourself happy by making her happy.
Absolutely.
And that is what relationships are supposed to be. Long-term, committed goals to the same dreams, the same conversations, and an uplifting, encouraging place for one another, not a judgmental validation issue.
All right. Now, on that note, unfortunately, we are at the top of our hour. We've got only seconds left, so I want to thank you both very much for being here today, Jackie,
Thank
Catherine,
Thank
both
you
of you.
so much.
Wonderful talking to you both, and wonderful hearing the different things that are going on. But hopefully, we left our audience with something they can take with them and think about in the future as well.
Absolutely.
All right. So now we're going to try to get you back on in March, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks, for our 2-hour show. We are going 2 hours very soon. Until then, everybody have a great Sunday. Hope everybody had a good Valentine's Day. Have a safe week, and we'll see you all and hear you all next week on Sunday. Thanks again, ladies.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This is CBS Sports and Entertainment, WRSO 810 AM or La Vista, Orlando, W226VT 93.1 FM, and W231CT 94.1 FM, Orlando.